Ready, final bit before we put it all together. So we've got zipper closure on top. So I have what I'm referring to as an open end and the closed end. You can base the end of this. I like to put a bit of masking tape on mine. I generally don't put the zipper end on till after construction because it gets in the way otherwise. So open end, we're going to measure 1 inch down and mark it on your zipper. I realised I picked up the wrong pen. There we go. Fold your zipper back at this mark here and try your best to get these edges to be nice and even, level, even. And you can pin or clip them like so. Now what we're going to do is run a few stitches down this side edge here. So 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch worth of stitches just down the side edge to hold this fold. So you should be able to see the stitches because I haven't changed from my lining thread. So what we're going to do is fold, so it's like this, and fold it outwards and then push this folded edge here alongside the teeth. I appreciate that is a bit fiddly to see because the zipper is a dark colour. What you end up with is these 90-degree angles. So this fold here is going along the zipper teeth. And then all we need to do is where you've got those stitches from the previous step, stitch over those to hold all this in place. So position your clips and your pins where they won't be in the way and sew them together. So we want this fold along, running underneath the zipper teeth to hold, and ideally you have matching folds. Right, so once you've done that and your folds are held, they should look exactly the same when the zip's closed. So open your zipper up to your outer bag and have it right side out. Just tucking that out of the way because it keeps flying around the place. So I've turned my zip over so it's facing downwards. You've got the teeth facing down, and you want the one stay put. So with the zipper down, you want this one with the right angle facing up, like so. I'm matching it up to this seam join here. Do we need a bit of light? Is that better? Blue and blue doesn't work. Like so. If your fabric's really thick, when it comes to doing the seam, you're going to have a lot of bulk in this one spot here. So if your fabric's really thick, feel free to just move that over like 1/4 inch. It still works absolutely fine. I'm going to budge mine up to the seam as close as I can and it all the way. Ooh. To the right side here, to this seam. I'm going to baste the zipper to the bag from this seam all the way over to this seam here, so just across the front part. I'm going to baste it along the edge, so not at a 1/4 inch. I'm going to go along the edge as close as I'm happy with. Completely forgot to say, welcome to part 2 as well. We're already in it now. So basting. If you want to swap to your zipper foot, you can do like that. Now move this around to the back of the bag. You see what I did there? I have made sure that there are no, I haven't twisted the tape in any way. See, when it's sewn in, there are no twists and turns. It's all lovely jubbly. The same again, basting along the edge from this seam to this seam, so just across the back panel. I'm going to baste the zipper in place. So once you've basted your zip in, you're happy that there are no, the tape has not twisted in any way, all good. We're going to turn this wrong side out. Then tuck this down. We'll smooth it out in a minute, don't worry. So make sure everything's tucked down. Right, final call for opening zipper pocket. Is it open? You want this one right side out. And as I said before, about making the zippers open the same way, you want this zipper pocket to go against the back of your bag, so the side that's got the slip pocket. And this way the zippers will open the same way. It's not essential, it's just a nice touch. And opening the seam allowance, I'm going to match the corners up. So I am just smoothing the zip tape downwards and then matching the corners up here. So smoothing the tape downwards so I can get to the corners. That. So we've clipped all the way around, we've clipped the lining inside the outer. Now this stitch around the top, in the pattern it says using seam allowance. If you would feel more comfortable with having a bit more of the zipper tape showing, use a 1/4 inch. If you're happy with sewing right up towards the teeth, you can use the 3/8. It's absolutely up to you. It doesn't affect anything in any way whatsoever. Personal preference. and we're going to stitch all the way around the top of the bag. Just be careful when you get to this closed end. Just have a feel. We did smooth the zipper tape down in. Just make sure it doesn't do anything funny when you go around there. All around the top using seam allowance. Right, so we've gone and we've sewn them together. Now you're either going to reach through your pocket or through the hole we made in the bottom of the lining. Go. So if you have a lining hole, what you need to do is reach through your zipper pocket and pull the lining through. So if you haven't got a gap in the pocket, this step isn't for you. In the lining, I mean, if you've got, ow, oh, that hurt. Clips be flying. So this is the bottom of the lining. I'm going to complete it by joining up where we sewed earlier. So basically, I'm just sewing all the way across using seam allowance. There we go, so that's the bottom of the lining sewn up. I've also trimmed it a little bit. Push it back through the pocket and then pull out the pocket lining. So not the body lining, the pocket lining. So everybody does this step, no matter which way you do it. And we are matching up the folded edges. Like so, and sew all the way along the bottom as close to the edge as you're comfortable with, using a regular stitch length, like so. That's that sewn up. So put the lining, zipper lining, inside the bag. Push the bag lining inside the bag. And now what we need to do is top stitch all the way around the outside. Right, so just grab my clips a minute. Now, this next part can be a little bit fiddly. If you want to, you can carefully press your lining down away from the zip. I'm just going to pop a few clips in, but I just stop it doing funny things whilst I'm sewing. So as you see, I pushed the lining, I've rolled the seam so that from this angle you can't see the lining. But what you don't want when you're top stitching is the lining to fold up and be anywhere near these teeth, otherwise you won't be able to use the zipper and you'll have to unpick it and redo it. So you want to try what you can to make sure this lining behaves itself. and then we're going to top stitch all the way around the outside. So I will take the before I even get near the clips, I will take them off and I will smooth this over the bed of the machine, and I'll make sure I'm pushing that lining out of the way. I don't want the lining anywhere near. So I've raised my machine up, so I'm going to slide it on the end, or you can sew it from the inside, or you can turn the whole thing inside out so that the outer bag, because some people like to have the outer because that's the bit you see. A lot of chatting. Sew it whatever way works for you, but we are top stitching this baby. There we go. Now hopefully you did what I put in the pattern but forgot to say out loud, is top stitch with all of these up out of the way. Lovely jubbly. These connectors, I quite like them on the top because they hold the shape of the bag. I am going to trim this down a little bit just because I'm not a long tails kind of gal. I fold this so that it fits inside my zipper end. You could use a little dab of glue in there. My glue has dried up, so I'm not. And then carefully, I've got an awl. And my Christmas cracker screwdriver. Told you, no fancy stuff here, we just use what we got. Oops. Like so. I'll chuck mine in. Like that. That is the bag done. We just need to add the strap. So you will have a strap slider. You may have one of these wide mouth ones which are perfect for thicker fabric, or you have a regular one. So you measure 4 inches down and post it around the middle bar. So you've got a 2-inch fold. Now adjust it to whatever suits you. If you're going to sew a box and you feel like you need more, then just wiggle it a bit. Or if you're going to add a rivet, you might want a bit less. It's fine, but a 2-inch fold, so measure 4 inches from the end and fold it over, is just grand. If you're using a wide mouth one, make sure, hello focus, it makes that shape. If it makes a W, it's going to be wrong. So it needs to make that and you can add a rivet or a box. It's up to you. I am going to clip mine for now because I've actually stolen this off another bag. So what we will do, rectangular ring. We're going from the inside to the outside. And weave it through your slider. So this end here that we folded over is enclosed within. Okay, and you'll see how that sits really nicely with the wide mouth slider. We're going to go around, make sure that there's no twist, and we're going to go from the outside to the inside. And again, if you want to measure that 4 inches, so you've got the 2-inch fold, absolutely fine. I like to put 2 rivets on mine. I don't know what I just do. But that would be your strap done as to whether you've sewn the boxes or you're going to add rivets. If you find that you want to add a bit of stabilizer to the connector, you can feel that the end of the connector is here. If you've got a good amount in the seam, there's no point, if we did it at 3/8, it would, the end of the connector would be up here. You've got nothing to rivet through, which is why we had the overhang. I like to take my ruler with my lamp and measure 1/2 inch below. So I've centered that. God, the light is not my friend today. So 1/2 inch below the center of the strap connector, 1/2 inch, so roughly there. And you can pop a hole through the whole thing, so all layers. Use your hole punch or whatever you use, and then add your rivet. And the same on the other side, so for the other one. Now, as I said earlier, with this maybe twisted around, if you wanted to, you can add a rivet here now. We didn't want to add it earlier just in case we accidentally sewed over it, which is not good. You could add one now. So there's places to add rivets. But that is your little ray of sunshine done. I've also made I'm not sure if that's the best place to connect it. Oh, that's alright. A tassel for mine, because I think it needed a bit of, it's a fancy bag, this one. This one's a fancy bag. So you see where my base squishes in, if you had Decaville, it would hold itself a little bit better. But I don't mind the squishy. Squishy's good. There you go. Sunshine Satchel, the little ray of sunshine. Apologies on the lighting. Like I say, you don't get much sun here in the winter. I'm relying on lamps, which is all good. It's all good. But any questions, please pop them below. There's links to the Facebook group. Come and see what the other testers are doing. And enjoy the pattern. Ta-da! Thank you for watching.